When it comes to your practice, lots of chiropractors think that personal development and practice growth or business development are two separate things. And that's a problem, because when we're viewing things that way, we tend to be working really, really, really hard, but only getting modest results. We tend to have problems with communicating. People around us tend not to get our message, either the practice members we're serving or our team around us. We never really seem like we're on sync with them. What usually happens then, if we think that personal development and business development are separate things, is we tend to find that our staff continually disappoint us or are subpar, or just not quite doing what you really, really want them to do. And if you're trying to run a practice where you're trying to attract associates and help to grow associates and to let associates stick around or keep them around for a while, you tend to find that there'll be a churn rate, or it's really hard to find them when you view that your personal development and your practice development are separate. So I'd like to help you to find a place where you can communicate with ease and joy. And what we're going to do is there's going to be a worksheet attached to this. So just click on the button down below and get your worksheet. If you're watching this, if it's on Facebook, then just type in worksheet in the comments and you'll get it. If you want to communicate with ease, if you want your team to continually delight you because you've empowered them so much, if you'd love to be able to attract and keep associates for longer, if you'd love your practice members to get it and to stay, pay and refer for longer, then it's important to put your personal and your practice development together. And at Quest, it's something we do a lot of. So I want to teach you the 4 paths to personal power so that we can help you with this. And a great example of this is Diane, who works with us. So when Diane started with us, she's clearly a hard worker. Now, for all the hard work that she was doing, she was getting modest results. She was still propping her practice up. She was still the one person that is having to drive things in her practice. Her team were not wowing her at all. There was no initiative coming from them. They weren't taking on roles and responsibilities. Things seemed to be resting on her more than ever. And the associate relationship she'd had hadn't been great. And she was struggling to find associates to come on board with her. But going through the 4 paths to personal power, which is what we do within Quest, and helping you to develop these, and I'm going to teach you this in a second. I'm going to give you a template so you can explore this for yourself now. And remember about the download. She started to find that suddenly her team was all pulling in the same direction. They found this common cause they could come together around, and they were having more fun in practice. There was a lot more spirit in what they were doing. They were having a lot of fun and getting great results for it. They found their organization kicked up, and suddenly their team was taking on roles and responsibilities, and they were starting to develop policies. And Diane found she wasn't in the middle of the practice anymore. She could actually step out more and more, and the practice would run better without her. She started to find her practice members stuck around for longer and got better results. Her communication was better. They seemed to get it. They seemed to refer more. And she tended to find then the associate relationships she had were much better. They lasted much longer. Now she's got a multi-doctor associate-run practice or associate-driven practice. So let me show you these 4 personal paths, or these 4 paths to personal power. And we're going to run this on the innate model. So this is a model of brain function. It's a neurologically driven flow of some of the foundational aspects of human behavior. We've got the left brain here, the right brain here, the forebrain here, and the hindbrain there. So when you put those together, we end up with this 4-quadrant model. Okay, so things start in the innate model. Things start, and this the 4 paths to personal power, which I'm framing in the terms that they were delivered by Ayn Rand. They go beyond that, but there was a nice framing she's put on it. They start here in what we call quadrant 1, and we start with metaphysics. Now, what does this mean? Metaphysics simply means your view on the nature of reality. It can be described as your philosophy. And this is the beginning point of all endeavors in human function. Okay, is philosophy. It incorporates your purpose, it incorporates your vision, it incorporates your mission in your practice and in your life. And I would suggest that if you haven't explored these in your life, you can't really explore these in your business. And all of these come together and they form your attractive power of your practice, your attraction. And this is attraction of new people. This is attraction of associates. I'm just going to move this out the way. This is a attraction of new people, of associates, of your team. It's how you do what makes your heart sing. It's attractive to you. So if our personal path of this metaphysics, our view on the nature of reality, isn't well developed, then our business path can't be. So we can see how these come together, and we can see how this personal path and the business path come together, because we need them to work together. And I'm going to say the word need. I'm going to leave that there. They need them to work together. Now, once we have our view of the nature of reality, we've got an idea of our why and our philosophy, the next thing is we ask is, well, how do we know? This is the role of epistemology. Now, this is the role of evidence. So this is where science tends to live. Wrongly, too much of an emphasis is probably put here with science because it's bigger than that. This is where our organization lives. This is where our strategy lives. And this is the place where we chunk down this very big picture that we got in metaphysics, our view on the nature of reality, our philosophy on life. When we chunk it down into manageable charts, we put it into priorities, and we create some structure around it, and we create a structure for our flow. So we figure out what makes our heart sing, and then we structure our life around that flow so we can get more of what makes our heart sing. And in that realm of personal power that you develop, as personal development, you get business development coming through as well. So from here, we then ask the question of, well, what do I do about it? And that's the role of ethics. Let's make that a little bit better. There you go. That's the role of ethics, is what do I do about it? Because what we've done is we've taken this attractive power, we've added the structure to it so it becomes nurturing, it becomes predictable, people feel safe in it. And it becomes something very real. And now we add in our ethics. And ethics is a space where we get to deliver excellence. So in our practice, this is our technique, this is our communication, this is on the look and the feel of the place. This is on our communication and our connection with people. And this is on the tactics that we employ. So if we think about it this way, we've taken let's talk about our purpose of our practice. We've added a strategy to it, and now we can execute the strategy with those tactics. So really what we're doing here is we're doing a function of delivery. Delivering on that vision, because we've taken that big vision, we've chunked it down into manageable parts, and now we can deliver it with excellence. And so when you do that in our lives, we tend to then see it come through in our practice a lot. So you can again see how this personal development and business development have to be done together. That's one of the signatures of things we do here at Quest. So the last part of this, or the fourth part of it, is ethics. So the question in the top is, what is my view on the nature of reality? Then we've gone into, how do I know? What's the epistemology behind it? What's the what? This is the why, here's the what. Chunk it down into little bits. Now here's how do I then flow through life? What do I then do about it? And this was about what do I do about it. So as we come up, I made a mistake. That's not ethics. That is politics. And when I say politics, I don't mean party politics. I don't mean elections. I don't mean any kind of retail politics that you see out there. I mean the organization of individuals coming together towards common aims. That's really the role of politics here, because the question we ask here is, what do we do about it? How do we come together? How do we empower people? How do we create empowerment? How do we create leverage so that we can make the effects, these desirable effects we want, bigger and better? And how do we leave legacy? And so if you could answer these in your personal life, this is where you would be on a path of expanding your influence towards yourself and towards others around you. And imagine we could then take what we've said about a purpose in our business and our life, create it into a strategy, turned it into tactics, and now we leave legacy. And if we can't do this personally, I would really ask the question about how we think we would be able to do it professionally. So personal development coming together with professional development. Now, when Diane put these into play, she found her results in her practice went through the roof. People coming together, playing well together. She found that she could do what makes her heart sing. She could structure her flow. She could change the world, and she could make a profit. And that's what we look to put to when we get together, because the last part of all of these, when we put them all together, the summative effect of all of these parts is aesthetics. Is what it looks like in the world when we create, when we bring forth our vision and then create a strategy around it, then tactics, and then legacy. Or we take our philosophy and we build in our evidence around it, we deliver it with excellence, and we empower others. We can see how these four will flow from each other, and the end result is this gorgeous aesthetics, is how it comes into the world and how we deliver it. And that would be the look and feel of your life. That would be the look and feel of your practice. That would be everything coming together, where you can play with purpose. You can structure your flow in life. You can change the world, and you can make a profit at the same time. If any of this sounds interesting to you, or you'd like to find out more about it, why don't you have a look at booking a strategy call with one of our coaches to see how we might be able to help you bring that into reality in your life and in your practice.